No, ma'am, I'm afraid that's not allowed. Help me, I'm poor.
Hey, I'm Lindsay, and you want to travel, but you don't have the money. Here are my 10 steps for saving money for and on travel. Step 10, understand your overhead. Know how much it costs for you to be you. Rent, utilities, car payment, cell phone bill, internet bill, car insurance, health insurance, credit card debt, gas, groceries, there's quite the list. Add that all together and that's your overhead. So now that we have that number, we have to look at what's pulling from it that's not necessary. Things like coffees, gym memberships, going out. First start trimming the fat there. Then start looking at your actual overhead and see what you can trim from there. Could you drive a cheaper car so you have a lower car payment? Carpool with a friend to work so your gas money goes down. What can you do to make these numbers go down while this number stays the same? Step 9, create a separate travel account and decide how much money you're gonna put in each month and don't stop. Once it's in there, don't even think about it. That is not your money, it does not exist. Just let it sit there and grow until it's enough that you can go somewhere. Get a Charles Schwab bank account. No, I am not sponsored by them, I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but they are hands down the best card that every single traveler should have. A few things about Charles Schwab, they do not have physical locations. You cannot actually go into a bank, which works out so good for travelers because that means they reimburse you on any and all ATM fees up to $200 every single month. If you are in Paris and the ATM charges you $9 to use that ATM, then usually if you're with another bank, they're gonna charge you on top of that to use an ATM that's not theirs, plus foreign transaction fees. However, if you have a Charles Schwab bank account, not only do they not charge you the foreign transaction fee, do they not charge you to use a different ATM than theirs, but they will pay you back for the ATM fee that you paid to that ATM. I love them so much. Open a travel rewards credit card for your big purchases. Now here, before I get into that, if you are in a massive amount of high interest credit card debt, please stop watching this video right now and get yourself out of debt. You should not be saving money to travel. You should be saving money to get you out of debt. Moving on, if you do not have high interest credit card debt, getting a credit card with a rewards program is a really amazing thing to do. So put all of your big purchases on there. Your international flights, splurge on a big hotel, book a hostel in advance, put those big purchases on a credit card, and start racking up those points, baby. Understand the pricing and the bargaining style of the countries that you will be visiting. Also, have a solid understanding of the currency, the physical currency itself. Sometimes the really big coins are worth way less than the little tiny small coins, or the notes that you get have a bunch of zeros on them. Understand what means what, so you're not accidentally paying your taxi cab driver with $100 bills when you need to be paying him ones. Know if you're supposed to be bargaining. Sometimes when you walk into a store, all of the prices that are around are negotiable. If you don't know that, you can be paying 4 times the price that you should be because you're not bargaining. Travel somewhere cheap. What's the best way to get more money? Travel somewhere where your money is worth more. Yay! First-time travelers make a lot of mistakes. Actually, even veteran travelers make a lot of mistakes. But mistakes are way easier to handle when they're on the peso or the baht as opposed to the dollar or the euro. If you travel cheap places, your money will go further, which means you can go further.
We found it. We found a restaurant serving fresh beer, and it's $4,000 a glass, which is like 20 cents.
Plus, traveling somewhere cheap makes you feel like you're always getting a really good deal, so it's win-win-win. Know the golden rule. If you don't have time, you need to have money, and if you don't have money, you better have a lot of time. The slower you travel, the cheaper it will be. If you're taking public transit, if you're price comparing guest houses, if you're only doing 1 or 2 touristy things a week, and you're spending time looking for cheaper free things to do, you are going to be going through your cash so much slower. Then if you're zipping around, packing a whole bunch of things into one day, taking no time to price compare anything, all of this stuff will add up super quick and massacre your budget so fast. Eat lunch out and dinner in. If there is a fancy trendy restaurant that you want to go to by all means, but book it at lunch or a late lunch as opposed to an early dinner or a dinner, because lunches tend to be cheaper than dinner prices and it's usually easier to get a reservation as well. Then for dinner, eat at either a cozy hole in the wall or make food back at your hostel. Travel independently. So this can be tough for first-time travelers, but when you travel with a group or you're doing guided tours, you are typically not getting as much for your money. Barring very few circumstances, it is always cheaper to plan your own travel and price compare for things on your own. I'm not saying don't ever travel with a group. I traveled to Australia with student ambassadors when I was in high school, but just know you're paying for the privilege. And my last, probably most obscure tip is changing your relationship with money. I'm gonna be a little bit harsh here. If the biggest problem in your life right now is saving money to travel, you are pretty damn lucky. Think about all of the other problems you could be having in your life. Family problems, health problems, not having enough money to put food on the table problems. Those are actual legitimate problems. Being bummed because you can't travel is a pretty awesome problem to have. And once you start seeing it as a privilege to have that problem as opposed to this crippling reason of why you can't travel, you can start simplifying money in your life and figuring out ways to get what you want. If you want to save money to travel, you have two options: spend less or make more. We talked about how to figure out what your overhead is and your take home, so start looking through things that you can cut out of your daily life so you can save more to travel. And if you don't want to cut out going out with your friends and drinking lattes, then that's fine, but that just means now you need to make more money. Can you pick up another job? When I realized that I wanted to be able to quit my job to travel the world, I needed to save up a lot of money really quick. And I knew that there was no way I was going to be able to do that with my current job as a surf instructor. So I picked up a bartending job at night, and then I picked up a job being a brand ambassador for a natural soap company on the weekends. I was working all the time. Not only that, but then I started cutting back on all of my daily expenses. I moved into a cheaper apartment. I stopped drinking and eating out. I did absolutely everything I could to minimize my overhead and maximize my take home. If your dream is to travel, then that's the way you can do it too. If you've caught any of my first series, you know I'd say it's worth it. So this is the first video in my Backpacking Basics series. I am standing up right now. It's so much more fun than sitting down. I think I'm gonna do this entire series standing up. I'm editing the next video and it's gonna be on Backpacking Basics as well. I have so many more videos coming up in this series. My goal with this is to get you out from behind your computer and exploring the world. So if there's anything that I can do, let me know. I'd love to answer questions. I'd love to help you guys in any way. I hope this is super helpful, and thanks so much for watching, and see you guys next week. Bye.